for staging a plane crash and posting the video online in an attempt to promote his channel.
This is one of the most ridiculous YouTube stories you'll ever hear. A real plane crash, a survival vlog, and a federal felony. In 2021, a YouTuber named Trevor Jacob uploaded what looked like the most intense video of his career, but behind the dramatic thumbnail and screaming title was a carefully planned stunt. One that led him to be investigated by the FAA, charged by the Department of Justice, and facing 20 years in federal prison. Why? Because Trevor Jacob didn't just crash a plane, he allegedly faked the entire thing just to go viral. This is the story of a man who flew too close to the sun and got burnt by the algorithm, the audience, and the law. Before he was crashing aircraft, Trevor Jacob was a professional athlete. He competed in the 2014 Winter Olympics as a snowboarder in the snowboard cross event. He didn't win a medal, but the attention gave him something arguably more valuable, a platform. After the Olympics, Trevor pivoted to YouTube. His content was a blend of extreme sports, travel, survival, and stunts, gaining a decent following, over 100,000 subscribers by 2021. He flew planes, hiked remote places, and performed skydiving tricks, branding himself as an adventurer, a daredevil, a guy who wasn't afraid to die for the shot. But there was one problem: his growth had stalled, views were down, and sponsors were quiet. And in the YouTube economy, no attention is worse than bad attention. On December 23rd, 2021, he had uploaded a video titled "I Crashed My Plane." In the video, he takes off in a vintage Taylorcraft BL-65 light aircraft, filming himself from multiple angles as he flies over a remote area in California. Roughly halfway through the flight, the engine fails. He appears panicked, but no mayday call is issued. No attempt is made to glide or restart the plane. Instead, Trevor calmly opens the door and jumps out. The plane spirals and crashes into the hills below. Every moment of it is captured from inside the cockpit, from a wing-mounted GoPro, from his helmet cam, and the video, it goes viral, but not for the reason he'd hoped. Almost immediately, the video is flooded with skepticism. Some top YouTube comments read, "How is this a crash? It is a deliberate con. Any good pilot would have tried to land the plane. The fact that you got on with a parachute on shows that this is deliberate. No one will ever know how it feels to do what you did. One of one experience." Because nobody is stupid enough to crash a perfectly good historic plane on purpose and make it look like an emergency. But Trevor had attracted more than just angry commenters. He had attracted the FAA. As required by law, all aircraft accidents are investigated by the Federal Aviation Administration, but when they reviewed Trevor's flight, they found something interesting. No record of him attempting to contact air traffic control, a flight plan that served no clear purpose, the fact that he was wearing a skydiving parachute from the start, and camera placements that seemed designed for spectacle. But the biggest red flag, according to the FAA report, he lied to investigators that he did not know the wreckage's location, and then later admits in the agreement that he cut up and destroyed the airplane wreckage, then deposited the detached parts of the wrecked airplane into trash bins at the airport and elsewhere, violating multiple federal aviation regulations. In April 2022, the FAA revoked his pilot's license permanently, but it didn't stop there, because when you destroy evidence tied to a federal investigation, that's a felony. In May 2023, the Department of Justice charged Trevor Jacob with obstructing a federal investigation. According to court documents, Jacob lied to investigators that he did not know the wreckage's location, destroyed the airplane wreckage, and Jacob intended to make money through the video, one of the core motivations for staging the event in the first place. The plea agreement stated that he would plead guilty, and the maximum penalty, 20 years in prison. When news of the charges broke, Reddit, Twitter, and commentary YouTubers alike exploded with thousands of comments coming in. "Takes a real dipshit to destroy a World War II era aircraft, risk causing a forest fire, and endanger bystanders for YouTube views. I've learned a lot about aviation since this incident. Trying to lie/destroy evidence on the NTSB is so stupid I can't wrap my head around it. Those guys will sift through all the sand in a lake to find 1,000,000mm sized parts and reassemble a plane from them. Thinking you can pull one over on them is beyond insane, especially with a YouTube video with 8 camera angles." He also felt that the aviation community is being pretty tough on me, so I'm thinking about quitting altogether and giving up, just because I'm hated. Wow, he is so used to his adoration that mere disapproval prompts quitting altogether. Trevor Jacob was ultimately sentenced to 6 months in jail in early 2024. His YouTube channel still exists, but with average views below 1,000, his sponsor deals vanished, his pilot license is revoked, and his name is forever linked to one of the dumbest internet crimes ever committed. It's not just that he faked the crash, it's the fact that he tried to monetize the crash whilst lying to federal investigators about it. In trying to fake survival content, he may have ended his actual freedom. His story is a perfect example of what happens when YouTube becomes more than a platform. For some creators, clout isn't just part of the job, it becomes the job. And eventually, that obsession, it takes everything else down with it. If you enjoyed this breakdown, drop a like, hit subscribe, and let me know in the comments who should I cover next, because trust me, there are way worse stories than this one.